What's going on, my friends? Cubs fan Han here for another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes free-to-play players guide. Now, I've started spending a little bit more money on this game than I ever did. I can no longer be classed as a free-to-play player. I'm going to own that. That said, I've been where you guys are at. I've been in that area where I just refused to spend money on this game, and my hat is off to you guys. It is a great conquest to play this game completely free-to-play, especially lately. So, in this video, I want to talk about 10 characters that whales do not want you to have. They don't want you to have them. They don't want you to have them maxed out. And on my list, I'm going to exclude all legendary, journey, and raid characters. They're not eligible. It's very possible for you to get those characters free to play. In fact, you can literally get anything in this game free to play. I want to focus on those characters that you can go in and you can farm their nodes right now without, you don't need other characters, you don't need a guild, you don't need anything. And this is in no particular order. Number 1 is my girl, Lightside Bastila. Now, Bastila's not too hard to farm. She's got a 16 energy hard node and a 20 energy ship node. Now, obviously, since they decreased the hard node attempts to 5, it's going to take a little bit longer than it used to farm her. But Bastila has a leadership ability that is bonkers, my friends. I mean, look, Jedi Revan probably has the better leadership ability, but he's not on this list. He's not eligible. From a free-to-play standpoint, having Bastila is just really valuable for a defensive character or an offensive character, just because it's going to give your team so much tenacity, that protection up. She can really glue Jedi together, and it's just a team. You got to take a meta team in against it to fight it if you're going to face it on defense. And so, in my opinion, all you free-to-play players out there, get your Bastilas farmed. This list is in no particular order, but if I were to order it, she'd be very high on this list. Bastila is a fantastic investment for free-to-play players. Number 2 on the list is Emphas Nest. On this list, probably the most versatile character we've got. Nest works in so many different compositions and in so many different areas of this game. You want to put her on defense? Fantastic. You have to plan around her. When I'm facing Nest on defense, I almost have to take in my Nihilus. I mean, especially if you got somebody who really knows what they're doing with mods and they put tons of tenacity on Nest. It's just really hard to get through Emphas Nest. But having, Annihilate, that's good. But then your opponent has used their Nihilus and they can't use their Nihilus somewhere else. Want to use Nest on offense? Great. There's 1,000 different places you can use your Nest on offense as well. Nest will solo a lot of teams by herself. This is a fantastic character. The big catch to this character, of course, and this is going to be a theme for a lot of these really good free-to-play characters, is she's on a single hard node. It's a 20 energy node. It's going to be a grind. We're not making a list without Bossk. He comes in at number 3. Bossk is a fantastic leader ability. He really glues those bounty hunters together, and it's going to be a character that you really want to have on defense for Grand Arena. Whenever I go against a Bossk team, I don't care if it's got bad mods, good mods. I care a bit. Like, if it's got, really good mods, I'm a bit more nervous. But even the Bossk teams that have bad mods, they almost intimidate me more because I'm worried I'm going to underestimate them. I'll try to take something a little bit more cheesy and I still get beat. You have to plan around this team. A Bossk team for me is almost always going to bring out my Thrawn. Almost always. Now, I've used Thrawn in other areas and tried to get around Bossk teams in other ways, but ultimately, I just don't feel good about going against Bossk without anything other than Thrawn, because I just gotta pin Bossk down. If he gets that taunt up, it's so hard to burn through him unless you can clear it, which is really hard to do if they've got the second Zeta. So, Bossk, very high in priority on this list. All free-to-play players want to have him. Only catch, again, he's got one hard node. These hard energy nodes are going to be the theme of this list, like I already said, and Mother Talzin is no exception. She's in at number 4. She's got one single hard energy node as well. 20 energy. Gosh, I hate how they do that. But, it just is what it is. It's a free-to-play life. But look, you want to have Talzin. You want to have her. And it's not just because of Grand Arena. That's a big part of it. But this is a character that's going to be phenomenal in raids. You can take Night Sisters. If you get a full Night Sister team decked out, they can do really solid damage in the Heroic Sith raid. You're also going to want, I mean, they're great to have for territory battles. And there's sometimes niche teams where they can fit into Arena. Most of the characters on this list aren't going to be Arena characters because that's like basically all pay-to-play characters. But having a solid Talzin team can give you an edge in several different areas of this game. Very solid free-to-play investment. My boy Kylo Ren comes in at number 5. Kylo Ren Unmasked is a great leader to put on defense, but you can also use Kylo Ren Unmasked on offense in a lot of different areas now. In fact, a lot of guilds, I think, are moving away from using First Order on defense and shifting towards using them as offensive teams. And so you guys know the utility this guy has, but look, this is one of the most valuable farms in this game, not just because of Kylo Ren, but this Cantina energy node that he's got also has the TIE Slicer on it. Yes, the TIE Slicer. For anyone who's new to this channel, it says Silencer in the game, and it's wrong. It's the Slicer. You can farm this pretty quickly. It's a 10 energy node, a lot better than those 20 energy nodes, which we've talked about for characters before, and you get 2 things farmed for the price of 1. Arguably the most valuable node in this game. Get your Kylo Ren Unmasked farmed, another great free-to-play investment. Speaking of great investment nodes, Jango Fett comes in at number 6, and he's going to be super valuable, not just because Jango Fett, the character, is phenomenal in so many areas of this game, but you're also farming Houndstooth, one of the most valuable ships in this game, at the same time. That is super valuable bang for your buck, ladies and gentlemen. Houndstooth is basically Enfys Nest for ships, and if you don't have a Houndstooth, you're gonna struggle in fleet. He's the father of all clones. Get this guy farmed. Maybe the easiest farm on our list is Grand Moff Tarkin, and this guy's underrated, my friends. He can just land a ton of debuffs. He's got Terminator Strip on an AoE basis. He's going to work very well with an Empire team, especially with Palpatine in the mix, which, I mean, I know I said no legendary characters on this list. Palpatine's legendary, but Palpatine's going to be one of the first legendary characters a lot of you free-to-play players get, because you're going to probably farm Phoenix first. It's going to be not too hard to unlock your Palpatines early on. He's going to work very well with Tarkin. And you farm him in the Squad Arena store. I didn't know that was a thing still. Like, I mean, oh my gosh, how many good characters are in those stores? Tarkin is definitely one of them. He would be one of the best characters you could farm in that store. He's going to be great on offense for territory wars and for Grand Arena. I still use him in almost every single Grand Arena when it's 5v5, almost every single time in my Palpatine team to go against boss teams. Next on the list, we got L337, who in my opinion is the most underrated tank in this game. And all it takes is once. All it takes is once for you to get against a Scoundrel team, a Cura team with Nest or something that has L337 in there, and you realize, oh gosh, how am I going to get through this character? She's not too hard of a farm. She's on a 12 energy Cantina node, but L337 has a lot of utility in this game and is a great tank to have, especially when you pair her with Vander Chewbacca, who's another good investment that's not on this list. But when you pair those two together, you can really get people pinned behind L337. Her taunt is persistent. You can't just wipe it away and then not worry about it. It's going to continue coming back and back and back. Very, very solid tank. Join the droid revolution, free-to-play players, and farm L337. I already know I'm gonna get crap for this one, but number 9 on the list is General Veers. I know, my troopers, they're not as good as they should be. But I really wish the troopers are the one faction in this game that just hurts my heart that they're not as good as they are. I've just been so caught behind chasing metas, which is kind of silly and it just kind of sucks. But I haven't had time to farm Imperial Troopers, and they're so good. If you have a really solid decked out Imperial Troopers team, you can use them to counter Night Sister teams. You can use them to counter Bounty Hunter teams. There's so many different areas that you can use them on offense. They're strictly offense. I mean, I've seen some people use them for defense, and you know, maybe it catches people off guard, but probably not ideal for defense. But offensively, lots of places you can use them, especially when you get Range Trooper in there, which is another one I don't have. But Veers, he's a pretty easy farm. He's got 2 hard nodes, a 12 energy and a 16 energy, and he's in bronziums. And so if you pull those bronziums consistently enough, good chance you're going to end up with enough Veers shards to at least unlock him and then farm him the rest of the way with your hard node farming. So free-to-play players, Veers, fantastic investment. And then finally, the last free-to-play character on this list that whales just do not want you to have maxed out is Barasafi. Man, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth saying that name. I just can't stand this character. I mean, has anybody seen the Clone Wars? How do you in good conscience farm this character? But she's got utility. I have to admit it, and especially lately with Padme, she works absolutely phenomenally. And if you have, say, you know, you've got your light side Bastila farmed, she can be a great addition in there, especially early in the game. And she's so accessible. She's gonna show up in the guild store. She's got 2 hard nodes. She's got a Cantina node, and she can be pulled from the Bronzium packs. This character is very easy to farm. It's like you could try not to farm her. Like, I'm not going to farm her, and she'll still end up at 7 stars eventually without you even trying, just because of how accessible she is. Barriss has a really good Zeta ability. If you critically hit, she's going to give some healing. Now, in the game nowadays, the meta characters can do enough damage that offsets that healing. But if you're trying to go against Barriss without meta characters, without characters that deal enough damage or can rely on that healing immunity, she can really sneak up on you, especially with General Kenobi, especially with 5, some of those other characters. Very common go-to character to put on defense for Grand Arena, just because when you're dipping into the deep parts of your roster, it can be really difficult to get through her without the right characters and the right supporting cast behind you. So, Barasafi, absolutely phenomenal investment, even if you have to compromise your morals to do so. All right, my friends, I hope this list was helpful for all you free-to-play players out there. Listen, free-to-play players, I feel your pain. I've been where you are. I know I've compromised my morals too, and I've been spending a little bit more than I used to, but I still feel for your position. I've been there, and it can be really a rough go playing this game free-to-play. I feel it so much that I'm even, spoiler alert, making a music video dedicated to all you free-to-play players out there. That's coming here in the next month or 2. Pay attention for that. But if you did like my list, give this video a thumbs up and tell me what your list would be. What additions and subtractions would you make for your own personal list of best free-to-play characters in the game? Let me know, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, go ahead and do so. And as always, my brothers, don't forget
my dead body. Sorry about the mess.